This is the final segment in our review for this lesson on Newton's second and third laws of motion. And as you can see here, here's the first law of motion. An object in motion tends to stay in motion, going at a constant speed in a straight line unless a force acts on it. Then you got his second law of motion, which says, what does a force do? So a force causes a mass to accelerate. Now you've got the third law of motion. So for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So that means that if you push against a wall, then that wall will push back against you with an equal and opposite force. When you're standing, you are exerting a force on the ground, and then the ground is exerting an equal and opposite force up on you. And so that's why you are standing and not sinking into the ground. So the reason why the third law is important is that it allows two objects to be able to communicate with each other. So you've got this object is producing an action on this object over here, and then this object is producing a reaction on the original object. So notice it's always equal and opposite. So in the case of the car's wheels, so here's the car wheel, and that car wheel is rotating around in this direction. So the wheel is exerting a force backwards like that on the pavement. Okay, but then the pavement is exerting a forwards force back on the tire. And then that's the reason why the tire is going to go in the forward direction. So without this reaction force, this tire is just going to spin and it won't be able to move the car. In the case of the rocket ship is going to be blowing gases out the back end. Okay, but each of those teeny tiny little particles of gas is going to be exerting a force in the forward direction. And that's going to be pushing against the rocket ship. Therefore, the rocket ship is going to go in that direction. So without these gases providing the reaction force, that rocket ship would not be able to move. So that's Newton's third law. All right, so now we're finished with Newton's laws of motion. And so in our final set of videos for the review for the unit exam, we're going to be talking about momentum. So I'll see you in just a moment.